Hello and welcome back to the Osceola's First Impressions. My name is Pat Burnham. I'm with Jerry Kutz. And Jerry, Florida State just came off the field for practice 16. And what we really saw today was the season has started in earnest. Preparation for Georgia Tech has started in earnest. We saw a lot of scout teamwork, more so than we saw yesterday. And I really thought the tempo of practice, Jerry, was a little bit more upbeat than it was yesterday. And from where I was, I thought the offense had one of its better days.
I did as well. I thought, one, they're not going against Florida State first team defense.
Yeah.
But I thought the passing game started to come together, and that was encouraging to see.
Yeah, and I had a chance to watch pass pro, half line inside, and full line or live inside drill, and I really thought the offensive line had its best day in those drills that it's had all camp, particularly half line. I thought they dominated half line drills. Richie Leonard looked great. Bryson Estes. Darius Washington, I think we've talked about him. Just seems like every day, but he had a very good day in half line inside, and of course on the other side of the ball, Darrell Jackson seems to be hitting his stride at the right time. He was dominant again today. Didn't matter whether it was half line inside, full inside, or pass pro. I mean, he was virtually unstoppable today. But I was really impressed with the way the offense responded. I didn't get a chance to watch the inside team period, but I did watch the outside team period, and I thought they found more success than they did the day before, and even more so than the week before. And so I was impressed by that this football team came out and responded from what was not such a great practice yesterday.
Well, I did see the inside, and I think I'd echo what you saw from the outside. I thought they were clicking. I didn't see the ball hit the ground near as much as we have when they're going against the number one defense.
Yeah.
So they were executing at a much higher level.
Yeah, and I think there's probably some relief from the players that this is kind of the official break from camp, and you really feel like you're in season now as opposed to being in the drudgery of fall camp. You've got somebody else now that you focus in on, which is Georgia Tech. They've got the scout team uniforms on the scout team jerseys on the scout team, and they're starting to prepare for Georgia Tech's defense, Georgia Tech's offense, and so I was very happy with the way the team seemed to respond to yesterday's practice. And of course, we've said that this is about continual improvement, and that's what we're seeing, particularly on the offensive side of the ball.
Yeah, I had a chat with one of the assistant coaches on one of the breaks, and as we talked about yesterday, we've hit that point of drudgery, and so now that they've gone to scout team, I think it's a lift because now they got to think about Georgia Tech. And I asked the coach, are they leg tired or head tired or which? And he said both.
Yeah.
Because he says we get them up at 6 in the morning. They get a little break in the middle of the day, but we got them in film room until 9 at night. And so it's just a lot of camp. And remember now, there's no classes this time of year. In fact, it occurred to me with the week 0 game, we haven't heard the marching chiefs practicing yet.
Yeah. No.
So, the campus is quiet. You don't see anybody on the campus. So these kids have been at this now for 3 straight weeks of the grind.
Yeah, and listen, there was not the usual playing week 0. You don't get the usual break that you do. Typically they would have had a week or 2 off. That was probably shortened. Now Mike might have modified the off-season program somewhat on their calendar because of that. But it's been pretty steady. You go straight from summer. You play a week early, so it's been a little bit different grind for Florida State and some of the teams that are playing in week 0 than it is for other programs going from summer to the preparation for the start of the fall season. Well, that's a wrap from here at the Florida State practice fields. We'll be back with Seminole Sideline. We'll be back tomorrow with First Impressions after practice 17, and then we'll be back with Seminole Sidelines live at 3 o'clock tomorrow. We did have a surprise visitor at practice day, and just to share a couple of thoughts he had. Kevin Carter, who was a great player at Tallahassee Lincoln High School, and went on to play really good football for Florida, then 14-year NFL career. I was talking with Kevin a little bit during practice. We know each other from high school, and he said that he felt really good about the front line, FSU's front four, particularly what he considers a starting front four. So he was very impressed with what he saw from the starting front four defensive line, and he was paying attention to the offensive line. I thought their frontier offensive line looked really good today, and he's going to join us on Seminole Sidelines. Hopefully he's going to watch Georgia Tech practice on Friday or Saturday of this week, and we're hoping to have him on Seminole sidelines next week to compare and contrast what he saw here at Florida State's practice based on what he saw at Georgia Tech's practice. But thanks for joining us, and we'll be back tomorrow.